The days after the first message passed quietly, but with a new excitement in the hearts of many. The humans on New Hope began to watch the skies with more hope than fear. News spread that the alien ship was still there, circling silently above the planet. Everyone wondered if the aliens would finally come down or if the contact would remain distant. And cold inside her ship, Princess Mira sat in her private chamber, staring out at the blue planet below. The planet was filled with forests, rivers, and small cities that glowed faintly in the night. She could feel the soft hum of the ship around her, but her mind was far away, on the humans and especially on Ben. Ben was a human unlike any other Mira had imagined. He was brave, curious, and kind. He had broken the quiet distance with just a simple greeting. "Hello, cute girl." It was playful, warm, and unexpected. Mira smiled softly. She thought about the many stories her people told about humans. They were wild and dangerous, always ready for war or trickery. But Ben was different. His words were gentle. His voice was not filled with fear or hate, but with hope. But it was not just Mira who noticed. The humans, too, began to feel a connection. Ben's small drone kept flying near the ship, sending back pictures and messages. He was careful not to scare the aliens, but wanted to learn everything. He could. One morning, Ben stood at the edge of the colony's observation deck. The sun was just rising, painting the sky in soft orange and pink. He held a small communicator in his hand, ready to send a message. "Good morning, Mira," he said quietly. "How do you feel today?" There was a pause before the reply came, curious and a little afraid. Ben nodded. "I understand. It's not easy to meet someone new, especially from a different world." Mira's next message surprised him. "Would you like to see me?" Ben's heart skipped a beat. "Yes?" He typed back quickly. "I want to see you." The ship's communication system opened a small window on Ben's screen. Slowly, an image appeared. It was a face, soft and glowing with light. Mira's eyes were large and bright, her skin a pale blue shade that shimmered faintly like a pearl. Her hair was long and silver, flowing like waves. Ben smiled wide. "You're beautiful," he said quietly. Mira looked away, feeling shy. "You, too," she replied. The moment was strange and magical. For the first time, two beings from different worlds shared a moment of simple friendship. They were no longer just human and alien. They were Mira and Ben. But the peace was fragile. Inside the Nari ship, not everyone agreed with Mira's choice to talk to the humans. The council had watched her closely. Some elders warned her that humans were unpredictable and dangerous. They said she should end the contact before it caused trouble. "Princess Mira," a stern voice said over the ship's speaker. It was Elder Vex, one of the oldest leaders. "You must stop this foolishness. The humans are unknown. They could bring war." Mira took a deep breath. "I understand, Elder Vex, but I believe they can be friends. We should try to learn, not fear." Vex shook his head. "Your duty is to your people. Return to the council and end this talk." Mira felt torn. She wanted to obey her people, but also wanted to see where this new friendship could go. She sent a quiet message to Ben. "They want me to stop, but I will try to talk more." Ben's fingers hovered over the keyboard. "I will help you," he said. "We will find a way." Days passed, and the messages grew longer. Ben told Mira stories about the colony, how humans worked together, how they dreamed of peace and discovery. Mira shared stories of the stars, of her people's journeys across the galaxy. The colony's scientists studied the alien ship carefully. They learned it used strange energy that was different from human technology, but it was peaceful. There were no weapons detected. The ship seemed designed for observation and travel, not for war. One afternoon, Ben and Mira arranged something new. Mira's ship sent a small pod down to the planet's surface. It was a gentle and quiet landing near the colony. The pod was small, just big enough for one person. Ben stood nearby, watching the pod. The colony's guards surrounded the area, ready but not aggressive. The pod door opened slowly. Out stepped Princess Mira. Her presence was stunning. She wore a simple, shining dress that reflected the sunlight. Her blue skin glowed softly. Her eyes looked around at the humans. With a mixture of wonder and caution, Ben stepped forward carefully. "Welcome to New Hope, Mira." Mira smiled shyly. "Thank you, Ben. I'm glad to be here." The humans gathered to watch. Some were afraid, others excited. It was the first time an alien had come to their planet without hiding. Ben took Mira's hand gently. "Let's show you around." Together, they walked through the colony. Mira marveled at the human homes, the gardens, and the laughter of children playing. She saw the kindness and warmth of these people. But not all was peaceful. Some humans watched Mira with fear. They did not know if the aliens would stay friendly or become a threat. Suddenly, an alarm rang through the colony. The alien ship above detected an unknown signal. A warning from another Nari ship approaching quickly. Mira's face grew serious. "They have come to stop me." Ben squeezed her hand. "We will face this together." The new Nari ship appeared. In the sky, larger and darker than Mira's, it sent a loud message. "Princess Mira, you must return. Your actions risk our people." Mira looked at Ben and the humans around her. She made a decision. "No." She said firmly, "I will stay. I will learn. And I will prove that we can be friends." The sky was filled with tension, but also hope. Two worlds stood on the edge of something new. A friendship born from a simple greeting was about to face its greatest test. The tension in the sky was thick. The new Nari ship hovered just above New Hope's atmosphere, its dark shape blocking the sunlight. The humans watched nervously from the ground, unsure if the arriving ship meant peace or war. Princess Mira stood beside Ben near the landing site, feeling the weight of the moment. Her heart pounded, but she kept her voice calm. "They do not understand why I came here. They fear humans because of old stories and ancient rules." Ben nodded. "Fear can make people act without thinking, but we can show them there is hope." Mira looked at the faces of the humans gathered around her. They were waiting, watching, hoping. "We must find a way to speak to them." The message from the Dark Nari ship was clear and strict. "Return immediately. Princess Mira, your presence here is dangerous. You break the laws of our people." Mira took a deep breath. She felt her duty pulling her into directions. Loyalty to her people and the hope for something new. Ben stepped forward. "Maybe they will listen if we speak directly. Let me try." With careful hands, Ben set up a communication link. The two ships began to send messages back and forth. The dark ship's leaders were cold and hard in their words, warning Mira to obey or face exile. Mira replied with quiet strength, "I seek peace and friendship. I believe the humans can help us both learn and grow." The dark ship's captain responded, "You risk your people's safety. Your actions may cause war." Ben watched the messages and thought hard. Fear is the enemy. We must break the ice. Show them kindness. Mira agreed. But how? They decided to send a small group of humans and Nari together to a neutral place, a small space station near the planet. It would be a place for talks, a chance to learn each other's true intentions. Ben helped prepare the human team. He chose scientists, diplomats, and guards who could stay calm under pressure. Mira spoke to her own people, persuading a few young Nari to join her. The day of the meeting arrived. The neutral space station was simple but beautiful, floating quietly among the stars. Humans and Nari entered the room carefully, eyes watching every movement. Ben and Mira stood side by side. "This is our chance," Ben whispered. "Let's make it count." At first, the meeting was tense. The older Nari elders spoke in formal, strict tones. The humans answered with calm honesty. Each side shared fears and hopes. Mira spoke for the Nari youth. "Our people have lived by strict rules for many centuries. We fear change. But I see in humans a strength and a kindness that is new to us." A human scientist named Tara smiled gently. "We humans learn by listening and trying. We don't always get it right, but we never stop trying." Slowly, the ice began to melt. The rigid walls of fear and suspicion softened as stories were told, questions were answered, and laughter was heard. Ben told a story about how humans had once feared the unknown, but had grown stronger by facing it. Mira shared tales of the stars and the Nari's search for peace. After many hours, a quiet moment came. Mira looked at the Nari elders and said, "We do not have to be enemies. We can be friends." The oldest elder, a man named Vex, looked deeply at Mira for a long moment. He said nothing. Then, slowly, he nodded. "It is time to rethink the old ways," he said softly. "Perhaps the future is different from the past." Back on New Hope, news of the meeting spread quickly. People cheered the brave step toward peace. Ben and Mira became symbols of hope. But the journey was far from over. Some still feared what the future held. The Nari Council was divided. The humans worried about hidden dangers. Mira and Ben knew trust would take time. They promised to keep working, to keep talking, and to keep believing in a better tomorrow. As the stars shone bright over New Hope, the friends stood together, ready to face whatever came next. Days passed since the meeting at the space station, and something new was growing between the humans and the Nari. A small group of both species worked together, learning from each other. It was not easy. Old fears and old habits were hard to change, but the hope for peace kept them going. Princess Mira stayed on New Hope longer than anyone expected. She walked through the colony's streets with Ben by her side. People stared, some in wonder, some in fear. But Mira smiled, showing kindness and patience. She wanted to show the humans and her people that friendship was possible. Ben showed Mira the simple things of human life, the markets full of fresh food, children playing games, the music that filled the air during celebrations. Mira loved the colors and sounds. She was especially fascinated by the laughter of children. It was pure and free. One evening, they sat by a small river near the colony. The stars were bright, and the air was cool. Mira looked up and said, "I never knew there was so much beauty on a world like this." Ben smiled. "It is beautiful because people live here. We make it so." Mira's eyes shone. "I want my people to see this too." Meanwhile, in the Nari ship above the planet, the council was in deep discussion. Some elders were impressed by Mira's courage. Others were worried and angry. The old leader, Elder Vex, was trying to find a way to keep peace while honoring their traditions. He called a meeting with Mira. "Princess," he said, "you are brave. You have seen what humans can be. But you must remember your duty." Mira bowed her head. "I know, Elder Vex, but I also believe that we must change. We cannot live in fear forever." Vex sighed. "Change is slow. Your actions give hope. But be careful. Not everyone will accept this." On New Hope, Ben and Mira worked with the colony's leaders to build a small center for human Nari exchange. It was a place where both species could meet, share knowledge, and build trust. Scientists worked side by side, studying each other's technology. Mira's people had advanced machines that could heal wounds quickly. Humans shared their farming methods that helped the land grow strong. Ben helped teach Mira human ways of problem solving, how to listen and work as a team. Mira shared stories of the stars and her people's journeys, teaching humans to look beyond their world. One day, while working in the exchange center, Mira met a young human girl named Lena. Lena was curious and full of questions. "Why do your people stay so far away?" Lena asked. Mira smiled softly. "We were taught to be careful, but I want to learn to be brave, like you." Lena laughed. "You are brave. You came all this way." Mira felt warmth in her heart. She wanted her people to know this feeling, the joy of friendship and trust. But not everyone was happy. Some humans still feared the aliens. A group of colonists protested, saying the Nari could not be trusted. They believed the aliens might take over their world. Ben spoke to the crowd. "We must not let fear control us. We are stronger when we work together." Slowly, the protests quieted. The promise of peace and friendship was stronger than fear. One night, Mira received a message from the Nari Council. They invited her to return home. It was a test. If she left, it would show she still obeyed. If she stayed, it could mean rebellion. Mira thought of Ben, the colony, and the new friendships. She knew what she must do. I will stay, she told the council, because peace is worth the risk. The council was silent. Then, Elder Vex spoke. We respect your choice, princess, but be warned, the path you take will not be easy. Mira felt the weight of those words but was ready. She was no longer just a princess of the stars. She was a bridge between two worlds. Back on New Hope, Ben and Mira stood together looking at the stars. We have started something good, Ben said. Mira nodded. Yes, and it will grow stronger. The bridge between worlds had been built, one small step at a time. It was a bridge of hope, trust, and the belief that different worlds could come together in peace. Peace was growing between the humans and the Nari, but not everyone was happy about it. In the quiet corners of New Hope, whispers of doubt and fear spread like shadows. Old fears died hard, and some people worry the friendship with the aliens might bring trouble instead of hope. Ben felt the weight of these worries every day. Though many cheered for the new bond, others watched him and Princess Mira with suspicion. Some thought the aliens were too different, that they could never truly understand humans. Others feared that the Nari's advanced technology might be used to control or harm. One afternoon, Ben walked through the busy market with Mira. The sun was warm, and children played nearby. But even in the light, Ben could feel the cold eyes watching them. Some shoppers stopped speaking when Mira passed by. Mira noticed too. Did they not trust me? She asked quietly. Ben shook his head. Some people fear what they do not understand, but we will show them the truth. Suddenly, a voice called out from the crowd. How can you trust her? She is not like us. Ben turned and saw a man, angry and shouting. Others nearby began to join in, their voices rising. Mira took a deep breath. She stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. I came here for peace, to learn and to help. The crowd quieted for a moment, but the fear was still there, like a dark cloud. Back in the Nari ship above, the council was also divided. Some elders worried that Mira's choice to stay on New Hope might cause problems. They sent secret messages to other Nari ships, warning them to prepare for possible conflict. Elder Vex watched Mira closely. He wanted to protect his people, but also saw the truth in her words. Princess, he said one evening, the path you have chosen is hard. There are those who do not want peace. Mira nodded. I know, but I will not stop. Meanwhile, a strange event shook the colony. One night, a small explosion occurred near the exchange center. No one was hurt, but the damage was clear. Someone wanted to send a message, a warning against friendship with the aliens. Ben and Mira worked with the colony's guards to find who was responsible. They believed that fear and anger were behind the attack. This is a test, Ben told Mira. We must stay strong. Mira agreed. Peace will win, but only if we do not give up. At the same time, Mira received a private message from a Nari elder named Solon. He was one of the few who supported her. Solon warned her that the Nari Council was growing more divided, and that some might take action to force her to return home. We must be careful, Solon wrote. There are those who see your choice as a threat. Mira shared the message with Ben. Together, they planned to bring more Nari youth to New Hope, hoping that friendship could spread and heal old fears. In the following weeks, several young Nari arrived, curious and eager to learn about humans. They lived in the colony, studied human life, and worked alongside the scientists. Slowly, the walls of fear began to break down. Even some of the older Nari started to see the benefits of friendship. One evening, during a festival in New Hope, Mira stood with Ben watching humans and Nari celebrate together. Music filled the air, and laughter echoed through the streets. Mira whispered, "This is why I stayed. To see this, to build a future." Ben smiled. "We still have challenges, but together we are stronger." Just then, an alert sounded. The colony's sensors detected a new Nari ship approaching rapidly. This ship was different, larger, and armed. The council on the dark ship had sent forces to stop Mira's friendship with the humans. They wanted to bring her back by force. Mira's heart raced. She looked at Ben and the people around her. "We must prepare." Ben nodded. "We will protect New Hope. We will protect peace." The sky above the colony darkened as the new Nari ship moved closer. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. The fight for peace had only just begun. The dark Nari ship loomed above New Hope like a silent storm. Its engines hummed low and powerful, sending a wave of tension through the colony. People hurried to prepare defenses. But no one wanted violence, not after all the hope that had been built. Princess Mira stood on the ground, looking up at the ship. Her face was calm but determined. Beside her, Ben checked the communication devices. They needed to talk to the new rivals, to try to stop conflict before it began. A loud voice came over the colony's speakers. It was the captain of the dark ship. Princess Mira, you have broken the laws of our people. You must return immediately, or we will be forced to act. Mira stepped forward. I will not return unless I know peace is possible. I came here to build trust, not war. The captain's voice grew colder. Your choice endangers the Nari. Stand down. Ben's hand touched Mira's. We can still find a way to stop this. Mira nodded. Let me try to speak with them face to face. The colony's leaders agreed to allow Mira and a small team to board the dark ship for talks. It was risky, but the chance for peace was worth it. Ben helped prepare the team. They included scientists, diplomats, and a few trusted guards. Mira chose to bring Solon, the young Nari elder who supported her, hoping his presence would help. The group entered a small shuttle and rose toward the dark ship. Inside, the air was cold and quiet. The walls were gray and smooth, with bright lights that made everything look sharp and serious. They were led to a large room where the captain and several elders waited. The captain's face was stern. Princess Mira, you have brought trouble. Mira looked around calmly. I bring hope. We can find peace together. An elder named Reith spoke. You betray your people by staying with humans. Why should we? Trust this. Solon stepped forward. Because we see what the future can be. The young Nari want change. We want to learn from the humans. Reith's eyes narrowed. You are a small group. The council will not follow this path. Mira held her ground. Then let us begin here. Let us show you the proof that peace can work. Ben added, we can share technology, knowledge, and friendship. We want to build, not destroy. The captain studied them in silence. Then he spoke slowly. You will be tested. If you prove that your friendship does not harm the Nari, we may allow it. But if you fail, you will be punished. Mira accepted the challenge. We are ready. The test was simple but difficult. Both sides had to work together to solve a crisis, a sudden problem with the colony's power system that threatened the lives of many humans. And Nari living there. The dark ship's technology was powerful but complex. The humans did not understand it well. Mira and Ben's team had to combine human creativity with Nari precision. Hours passed as they worked side by side. Arguments and mistakes happened, but slowly. Progress was made. Ben found a way to reroute the power using a human device, and Solon helped modify the Nari system to accept the change. The power returned, lights came back on, and the colony's people cheered. The elders on the dark ship watched carefully. Some faces showed surprise and respect. The captain nodded. You have passed the test. Mira smiled but knew the path was still long. This is only the beginning. Returning to New Hope, the team was greeted with joy. The victory was small but important, proof that two different worlds could work together. Yet, Mira felt the weight of responsibility. The council's approval was fragile, and old fears still lingered. She knew she must keep building trust. Step by step, Ben stood beside her. You have done well, but the future depends on many hands, not just ours. Mira looked at the stars above. We will need the courage of many to walk this path. The bond between humans and Nari had been tested and found strong enough to survive. But the galaxy was wide, and many challenges lay ahead. For now, hope burned bright on New Hope, shining like a beacon, a promise that even across great distances, friendship could grow. The morning sun rose over New Hope, casting golden light across the colony. For the first time in a long while, the people felt a quiet peace. The dark clouds of fear and war had begun to fade, replaced by something new. Hope. Princess Mira, stood on a small hill overlooking the town. The wind gently lifted her hair as she watched children of both humans and Nari playing together. Their laughter filled the air, a sound she had dreamed of for many years. Ben approached quietly. "It is good to see this," he said softly. Mira smiled. "Yes, but it is just the beginning. We must keep working. The tests have been hard, the fears deep, but the bond between their two peoples was growing stronger." The council on the Dark Nari ship had agreed to allow more Nari to visit New Hope and learn from the humans. In return, the humans would study the Nari's advanced technology and share their own knowledge. This exchange was a new chapter in their history, one that promised friendship and peace, instead of fear and war. But peace was not easy. Some who still doubted watched closely, waiting for mistakes. Mira and Ben knew that trust would take time, and every small step mattered. One afternoon, a message arrived from the Nari Council, a formal invitation for Mira to speak at a grand gathering of Nari leaders and humans alike. It was a chance to show the world that unity was possible. Mira prepared carefully. She chose her words with hope and honesty, ready to face old doubts and new questions. The day of the gathering arrived. Leaders, scientists, and citizens from both worlds filled a large hall on New Hope. The air buzzed with nervous energy. Mira stepped onto the stage, looking out at the crowd. Her voice was steady and clear. "Friends from many worlds," she began, "we have come far. We have faced fear and doubt, but we stand here today because we chose hope." She told stories of the struggles and victories they had shared. She spoke of the children playing together, of the scientists working side by side, of the future they could build. "We are different," she said, "but those differences make us stronger. Together, we can reach the stars and beyond." The crowd listened, some with tears in their eyes, others with smiles of understanding. When Mira finished, a deep silence filled the room. Then, slowly, applause began, soft at first, then growing louder, until it filled the hall with warmth. Ben joined Mira on the stage, proud and hopeful. Together, they looked out at the crowd, a symbol of what was possible. After the gathering, many came forward to speak with Mira and Ben. Old fears were replaced by questions and ideas. Plans were made for more exchanges, more learning, more friendship. In the days that followed, Mira received messages from Nari leaders across the galaxy. Many were inspired by her courage and the example set on New Hope. One message came from Elder Vex, the wise leader who had once warned her of the challenges. He wrote, "You have changed the course of our people. Your bravery shows us a better way." Mira smiled as she read the words. The long journey had been hard, but every step had been worth it. Ben and Mira often walked together in the evenings, talking about what had been and what was to come. "We have made a bridge," Ben said, "but the journey across it is just beginning." Mira nodded, "And we will walk it together." The stars above twinkled like distant promises, shining brightly over a new dawn for humans and Nari, a dawn of friendship, trust, and shared dreams. As the sun set on New Hope, Mira and Ben looked forward with hope in their hearts, ready to face the future side by side as friends. The sky above the New Earth colony was quiet at first. People only saw stars and the faint glow of distant planets. But something was different that day. Far beyond the blue sky, a strange, shining object moved slowly into the colony's space. It was not a comet or a meteor, it was a ship from far away. The people of Earth had built many colonies on planets near and far. They were used to exploring the unknown, meeting new worlds, and sometimes meeting new life. But they had never met aliens like this before. The ship was large and smooth. It shone like silver in the sunlight. It did not make any sound as it entered the orbit of the colony's planet, called New Hope. The ship's shape was strange, and like any human craft, it was tall and curved, like a tall wave frozen in time. Inside the ship was Princess Mira. She was the leader of the alien people who called themselves the Nari. The Nari were very old, with their own long history and many rules. One of their most important rules was to never get too close to other species. They watched from far away, learning quietly, but never spoke or came near. Princess Mira was different from the others in her people. She was young and curious. She wanted to know more about the humans living on New Hope. She wanted to understand why they looked so alive and strong, even when their world was new and small. But she was afraid. Her people warned her that getting close to humans could bring danger. So, Mira watched silently from her ship's big window. Her eyes were large and bright, filled with both hope and fear. She saw the blue-green planet spinning slowly below her. She saw the cities and farms and forests of the human colony on the ground. The people of New Hope had no idea they were being watched. Life went on as usual. Children played in the fields. Farmers worked in their fields. Engineers checked machines and robots. One of the humans was Ben. He was not a soldier or a leader, just a simple engineer. He loved to explore and learn new things. When he heard reports about the strange ship in the sky, he felt excited. He wanted to see it for himself. Ben went to the spaceport with a small flying drone. The drone was a little machine that could fly far and send back pictures. He sent the drone up into the sky, higher and higher, until it reached the orbit where Mira's ship was. Ben watched the drone's camera carefully on his small screen. Suddenly, the screen showed something amazing. There was the ship, and standing behind the ship's big window, looking down at the drone, was a girl. Not just any girl, she was the alien princess. Ben's heart beat fast. He knew this was the moment of first contact, but it was different from what he had imagined. The girl did not look scary or mean. She looked curious and a little shy. Ben smiled and said quietly, "Hello, cute girl," into the drone's microphone. It was a joke, a simple, friendly greeting. He wanted to break the silence inside the ship. Princess Mira heard the voice through the ship's sensors. She blinked, surprised and confused. No one had ever spoken to her like that before. Not with such warmth and humor. Mira looked at the small flying machine again. It was not dangerous. It was not a weapon. It was small and simple, like a toy. Her heart moved. Maybe these humans were different from what her people said, but she was still afraid. What if the humans were not friendly? What if this small talk was a trick? Mira sent a quiet message back through the ship's communication system. It was only a few words, but it meant a lot. "Hello, human." Ben's eyes widened. The princess had answered. For the first time in history, an alien spoke to a human. He felt happy and nervous. On the ground, people started to notice the strange signal coming from the sky. Scientists and soldiers gathered quickly. They were not sure if the aliens were friends or enemies. They prepared for anything. Ben stayed calm. He wanted to keep talking to Mira. He sent another message. "I'm Ben. What's your name?" Mira smiled inside her ship. She wanted to say more, but she knew she must be careful. Her people watched her every move. "I'm Mira," she finally sent back. The days passed, and to talk more through their small messages. They shared stories about their worlds. Ben told Mira about Earth and the colony's life. Mira told Ben about the stars and her people's long history. But while Mira grew more curious and brave, the others in her world grew worried. The Nari Council sent messages demanding that Mira stop talking to the humans and return home. They feared the humans' boldness and strength. Mira felt torn. She wanted to obey her people, but she also wanted to learn more about Ben and his world. She hoped the humans would not be dangerous. On New Hope, people waited, watching the sky. They knew history was being made, but no one could say what would happen next. And somewhere in the silence between the stars, a young princess and a human engineer began a friendship that could change the future of two worlds.